play Dandy's World, but you don't know where to start? Well, if you haven't decided when joining into the game, you should always pick Boxen instead of Poppy. And Poppy and Boxen have the same stats, but they have different abilities. Like Poppy's ability is Panic Pop, where this tune receives a 50% speed boost for 3 seconds when attacked, which is horrible. Unlike Boxen, which has something called Window, which makes it so that he can gain 6 more extraction speed for every alive tune in the round. Now that you're Boxen, go over here and use code ECORE, then use code 1billion, and there you go. So now you should have some more ECORE, and now you want to go over to an elevator. This is where I'm going to show you how to get really good at the game, but first, before we even go in there, I have to show you how to play the game. This all comes from this information tab on the bottom right of your screen. Basically, go in the game, read all of this. I'm not going to say because there's a bunch of pages, but make sure you read all of this as this is very important. Now that you've known all that, go in the elevator and wait. Just to make sure I'm definitely 100% a noob, I'm going to unequip all of my trinkets just to show how realistic it actually is. Trinkets is something that you will get later in the game, but you don't need to worry about right now until you start getting it later in the game, which is at the end of the video. So as you can see on the bottom right, there is something called stamina, and when you hold shift or you press the sprint button on mobile, it goes down. Now when this is all the way down, you can only walk, and it takes a while for your stamina to regen back up. And that's extremely deadly when the Twisted is chasing you, because then it'll just look like this and the Twisted's catching up. Instead, if you're being chased by a Twisted, make sure that you hide behind something. It could even be like a little crate thing right here, and it wouldn't notice you. Different tunes have different things called an attention span. Like Tisha has a small attention span, so you can hide behind an object for a small amount of time before Tisha just runs off and doesn't know where you are. If you're extremely impatient, you don't want to walk all the time or like do all of that, I'd recommend as Boxen staying above 120, because if you're any lower than that, then you're pretty much in danger. So you can kind of like lightly tap it sometimes. You can also regenerate, and you can also do the same thing when being chased if you don't want to waste a bunch of stamina, which isn't really that optimal. But as you can see, I can just ring around the road and Tisha will completely ignore me. There are also things that are called meds and bands. If you are not, a med can heal 2 hearts, while a band can only heal 1. So if you are not at 1 HP, then you should not take any heals, because there is something called a healer, like Cosmo, where she can give her hearts to another player. As you can see, I have 0 stamina and Tisha is chasing me. I'm walking around, and as you can see, I just got hurt, and you can easily run. One thing that a bunch of starters do is they just run in a straight line. If you just run into a straight line and not try and find a little obstacle thing like this, then you will die. This is an example. You may think it's working here, but she will 100% catch up to you, no matter how fast you go. Well, actually, it does matter how fast you go, but still, as you'll still die. Different tunes have different stats. As you can see, Boxen has 3 on every single one, which is really plain, and it's just an all-rounder in general. As Boxen has 3 on every single stat, doesn't mean that everybody also has that. As GG has a really high skill check, mid-moving, bad stamina, 3 stealth, and 3 extraction speed. Stealth is something that's very important, like extremely important to understand how to learn the game to get to a higher floor. Let's say you're getting chased by a Twisted, or someone like Louis comes up. The Twisted, as he's chasing Boxen, will then realize that Louis is there. Louis has 2 stealth and Boxen has 3, meaning that he will go straight for Louis because he has a lower stealth. If someone with 3 stealth and someone with 2 stealth were walking next to each other, you would obviously pick the one with lower stealth. Astro has 5 stealth, Pebble has 3, so if Pebble is distracting the Twisted and Astro comes up, even if the Twisted goes inside of Astro, he still wouldn't die. Now, there are things that are called mains. They actually have their own Twisted form, like Twisted Bobette, who is a main. We have Twisted V, Twisted Shelly's, Twisted Sprout, Twisted Pebble, Twisted Astro, and even if you want to call Dandy a main, practically is, and he is also a Twisted. Anyways, mains have 2 hearts and are way harder to get than the normal tunes. Now, why? You see, normal tunes like GG have 1 active ability or 1 passive ability like Poppy, while a main, I'm gonna go for Pebble for example, has 2 abilities, an active and a passive. That's not the only thing different with mains though. Normal tunes have 15 stars, while Pebble, for example, has 16 stars. Sprout also has 16. So mains have an extra star, an extra ability, and is better. They're also healers, distractors, extractors, and survivalists. There's also supports. Now, once we get to trinkets, trinkets are something that can help you a lot and are actually insanely helpful. When you click the buy trinkets button, I've bought every trinket, but there will be a bunch of trinkets that you can buy. These trinkets give different kinds of buffs, like pop pack grants to pop every new floor. But these trinkets are not really that good. But once you get into this area, you can see if you get 100% research on a twisted, and to get research you have to encounter or pick up a research capsule to get research on a twisted, then you can get a trinket if you get 100% research on that too. Like for example, Gigi has a coin, and the coin is bad, but kind of example. Toodles gives dog plush, which increases walk speed by 10%, which is probably the best trinket in the game. And there is so much other stuff that's really helpful, especially coal and brick. If this helped you, make sure to subscribe, give this a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.